Start. You can use the chat window to ask questions, and the trainer will do his best to answer them as fast as he can. Okay. And during this class, I would encourage you all to please stay muted if you don't have any questions so that you do not disrupt the class. Also, you can keep your cameras off so you are not distracting others. We want to make sure that we use this time as best as possible. During this session, there will also be Microsoft badges for everyone. So towards the end of the session, I will be pasting a link in the chat window for an AZ900 achievement code badge with Microsoft. So you can claim it and redeem it to your Microsoft Learn profile so that you can also show it off on your LinkedIn that you've been introduced to the concepts of Azure. These badges are very good for your professional profile, especially if you have external recruiters looking at your profile and they want to see your skill level. The badges will help showcase what you know. So please look out for it in the chat window when I put it up. I will definitely prompt you on when to start redeeming your badges, okay? And shortly before the class starts, I would also paste the link for the AZ900 learning material so that you can log into your Microsoft Learn. If you don't have an account, you can create one when I send the link. And if you do have one, all well and good, you can go ahead and just start your learning, okay? We have our trainer in the session. He is a Microsoft certified trainer. His name is Mr. Raphael. Mr. Raphael, please confirm you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us this morning.
So,
I'll give you the... All right. Please make sure that your microphones are muted. If your microphones keep disrupting the session, I might have to remove the disruptor out of the class. So please, I would like us to be very conscious of our microphones, okay? If you have questions at the end of the session, you can use your microphone to ask, but I would really encourage you to use the chat window so that the class flows very smoothly, okay? So, Mr. Raphael, I'll go ahead and paste the link for AZ900 in the chat window so that you can begin the session. Problem. All right. So you can go ahead and start, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to class. Okay, so I know that. Yeah, so I know that you might have. Who is that person? Please mute your mic. The person on the call.
I'm trying to look for the person. All right, Mr. Raphael, you can go ahead, please. You're muted, sir.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to class. I'm very excited to be your speaker, your trainer for this session. So when we talk about AZ900, you're actually talking about the fundamentals of cloud computing. Okay, so one good thing about earning that certification is it never expires. Okay, and it's the front door of entering into Azure. Now, Azure is exciting. Azure is exciting. I like to even excite you more. Okay, I like to even excite you more. There's someone I know. The person has never done cloud before, so he decided, okay, so which branch of IT should I enter? How can I break into tech? You know, Lagos is a crazy place. In Lagos, you get salaries of 50,000 naira. Even for IT, you won't believe it. there's 50,000 naira salary, there's 100,000 naira salary, there's 200,000 naira salary, there's 500, there's 600, and guess what? There is 2 million and above. Okay, so this person was my mentee, and I told him, because we did some things together. I mentored him. He entered into one of my I have a school. And I told him, this is what I expect of you. And so he did all his best. He was like at the top. Guess what? This is a recent story, though. He got a job in Lagos. Okay, he got a job in Lagos. He's earning 2 million naira per month. Now, why am I telling you this story? You should understand why you are trying to enter into cloud. Okay, so I believe that if you have your reasons, maybe you put in more effort. Okay, so but this guy is not lazy. So if you are, sorry if I use the word ass. Okay, so if you are very lazy here, he's not that kind of person. Okay, he goes all out. If you give him 2, he will do 10 for you. Yeah, so those are the kind of people that I like to teach. Okay, so if I'm going to be a trainer for the next couple of days, yes, that's the kind of person I want you to be. Someone that goes far and out. Okay, someone that does their best to do their research. So guess what? Someone that has never done tech before. Okay, although the company did not know there was a way we packaged him, someone that has never done tech before, he got a job of 2 million naira and above. His supervisor is in Switzerland. He got the salary, he got a car, and today, as we're talking, he's happy. Okay, so why did I tell you this? If you've never done tech before and you want to break into tech, and you've chosen cloud computing, chosen cloud computing as what you want to use. Okay, so I believe that you should stay. Yeah, you are in the right place. Okay, you are in the right place, and you can get what you want. Okay, but you need to be consistent. Now, when we talk about, I've told you that this is the entry point of Azure. Okay, so if you're asking me about the beginner skill, whatever things that you have here, understanding of the cloud, compute, network, and storage, those are the things that I'm going to be breaking down. Okay, so that compute, network, and storage, you'll be so surprised. You can also use them as an entry point into what they call FinOps. FinOps is cloud financial management. So the beginner skills you need in order to succeed, if you're looking at breaking into DevOps or starting your journey as a cloud infrastructure engineer, the beginner skills are compute, network, and storage. Okay, so which is what we are going to be talking about in the next couple of hours. Okay, but like I told you, if you really want to break into tech, okay, you need to be if you really want to break into tech and break with big money, you need to remember what I said about big money. There's salary of 50,000, and I'm not kidding. Okay, there's someone doing IT in Lagos, and the person is earning 50,000. And there's also salary of 2 million naira and above. So if you want to break like this, okay, if you want to break like this, you need to do all your best. Okay, before I proceed, I want to show you something online, because when you're learning cloud, okay, you should know what a data center is. You should know what a data center is. I'm going to break it down. Microsoft. So I'm going to use Microsoft Data Center as the basis. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the person that is looking for physical classes, this is 2026. I believe that online classes are even better than physical classes. The reason is because by the time you drive through the go slow, and you'll be tired. Okay, but the online class, you can stay focused, and you can stay. I'm talking to you directly. Okay. This is a live class. I'm talking to you directly, and I believe that you can even get more from this than even a physical class. hope I've answered your question. Now, guys, when you talk about cloud computing, okay, we have 3 types of cloud. We have public cloud, we have private cloud. Oh, so let me not even start it from there. Okay, so when you say what is cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Okay, delivery of computing services over. What does that mean? It means that, oh, I want to use a computer for my work. I do not. Yeah, I stopped sharing. No screen share. Just hold on. I'm going to share very soon. I think I'm sharing though, but yeah. So I want to explain cloud computing before I start sharing my screen. Okay. So when you say cloud computing, when you want to use, let's say you have a job to do, okay, you have something to do that has to do with online stuff, and you do not want to, you do not want to go and buy your own computer. You want to hire a computer from online. Okay, so basically that's what cloud computing is all about, using another person's computer to do your work. That's just what it means. Anytime you are hearing the word computer, you just want to hire something to do your work. Basically, that is the layman definition of it, and it's not wrong. Who do you hire these computers from? Okay, big companies. Okay, Microsoft. If you are doing, if you're working with Azure, is Microsoft. You're either hiring it from Microsoft, you're either hiring it from Google Cloud, or you're hiring it from AWS. Now, I know that some of you are here say, oh, Microsoft is not the number one. That's not true. Okay, oh, AWS is the number one. See, let me tell you, the thing fluctuates. Okay, some few months you'll see that AWS is the one at the top. Sometimes, so there's a struggle between Microsoft and AWS, and I think that is good to start with Azure. You know why? Because Microsoft is very generous to you as a learner. There are a lot of things extras that you can take away as a learner that AWS will not give to you. Okay, so Microsoft is a great place to start your learning journey. So what did I say so far? Okay, so I said that cloud computing means using another person's computer to do your work. I said that. Okay, if you did not understand, I want to tell you a little story about it that makes that. So I was on this journey. I traveled to Port Harcourt. Okay, yeah. So Amadjo would be responsible for that. You talk to her. Okay, so I think after today you'll be placed in that, for those that are asking for WhatsApp group. Okay, so let me tell you a little story. Okay, that supports why I said cloud computing is using other people's computer to do your work. Now, the computer I use for my work is like 30-something GB RAM. Okay, so it's not your typical computer. It's heavy. It does a lot of heavy work. Now, I was on leave, taking my cool few days off work to attend a very good friend's wedding in Port Harcourt. Out of the blues, I got a call, and I didn't want to take my computer with me because I wanted to enjoy my weekend. Okay, so I wanted to enjoy my weekend. So it was on a Friday. I got a call. I'm not even expected to work on a Saturday. I got a call. My boss, like, hey, Ralph, where are you? So I'm leaving New York. I'm going to London. I want to go and pitch. Our company needs some more money. Our investors are there, and the people in the field will need a database. Okay, I know that, I understand. I heard that you're on leave. They would need a database. Okay, they will need a database, and I need you to help them with whatever they need. I didn't carry my computer. I couldn't tell him. I said, yes, sir. Oh, what did I do? Okay, so I looked for a very nice cyber cafe in the place I went to. I looked for a cyber cafe. I paid for 2 hours. Okay, I logged in into the computer of the cyber cafe. I logged in into my Azure account. I logged it, and I created the computer because I didn't take my own along. So I created the computer. What is a computer? A virtual machine. So I created the computer, and I was able to do all the things that I needed to do. When I finished, I sent them the username and the password. So and that was it. So I needed my high-end computer with a lot of RAM and blah, blah, blah that I left at home. I didn't have it with me. I went to the cyber cafe. I was able to still use, I was able to still use a computer to do what they needed. So I hope you understand when I say cloud computing is using another person's computer for your work. The person's computer is the computer of the cloud provider. Now I want to share my screen. When I think that you should be focused on what I'm teaching you for now first. Leave the requirements. I believe that you're seeing my screen. So I believe that you're looking at my screen. Okay. So when I went to Port Harcourt and I said I rented a computer, it probably came from a place like this. Not that it came from a place like this. What you're seeing here, these are data centers. Okay. So these are data centers. It's just like a church. You know how those churches are, those big churches that they build in factory. But instead of having those chairs there, you have shelves. Okay, you have shelves, and in those shelves what you have, it's just computers all over. Okay, so these computers are working 24 hours. These computers you see in a data center, they work 24 hours. They have their own cooling, they have their own electricity, and they have their own electricity, cooling, and internet. You need 24 hours because you do not interact with them physically. You interact with them online. So that's why they need internet 24 hours. They work 24 hours and they can become very hot. That's why they need cooling. Okay, so you need internet, you need electricity, whatever to be able to access them. Okay, so I've told you about what cloud computing is. I've told you where we get the computers, the resources from when you're using cloud computing. Now I'm going to take a look. Now I'm going to take a look at one of the materials you'll be looking at, okay, and let's break it down accordingly. Okay, the materials you'll be looking at, there are three major points there. Okay, first of them is cloud concepts. When you talk about cloud concepts, they're just trying to tell you what is cloud computing. You're looking at my screen, I believe. I don't know what page you're seeing.
You've unshared your screen, sir.
Okay, no problem.
It's coming back up. Okay, proceed.
So the material that was shared with you, okay? So I think for me, I think the most important thing you need to understand there is the cloud concept. What is cloud concept? So in cloud concept, they explain to you what is a cloud computing, okay? Describe cloud computing, which is what I just did in layman's language, using another person's computer for your work. Okay, I told you about how I went to Port Harcourt. I didn't carry my computer. Still, I was able to do what they asked me to do. Okay, and guess what? The event was successful. He got the money that he needed and injected it into the company. And when you are in IT, you have when you are an IT founder, you have shareholders, and the founders are always looking for seed capital to inject into their company. And I was part of that success because I used another person's computer to do the work. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So we've talked about introduction. Yeah, what is cloud computing? I've told you about that. Now remember I told you that you are using another person's computer. Okay, and when you're using another person's computer, there are different responsibilities there. Okay, there's a shared responsibility model. Okay, so you have your own responsibility as a user. Okay, the cloud provider that is giving you that facility has their own responsibility as well. Okay, so each person has his own responsibility. But I think that before I come and talk about this, maybe I need to I will come back to this later on. Let me explain something. So I've told you about what cloud computing is. The different types of cloud. We have public cloud, we have hybrid cloud, we have public, hybrid, and just give me a minute. I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to look for a slide. Okay, I think I will. Okay, so hold on. Let me explain it in a chilled out way. Okay, so we have three different models of cloud. Okay, three different models. We have the public. When they say public, it means that a company decided, oh, we want to start a company and we want to start doing these services, like what Azure what Azure is doing, what GCP is doing, what AWS is doing. Okay, that is public cloud. Now, if I become the CEO of a company and I said, oh, we do not want to use public cloud. No, there's a company that have done that. I think about 4 years ago, a company came out, a very popular company that you probably use one of their services and you don't realize. They came out and said, oh, we are no longer using any public cloud. Okay, so just let me see if I can still find them. Oops, the name flew up. Oh yeah, okay. So reason why we are leaving the cloud. Okay, so just give me, yeah. So you have. Okay, so the company said that they want to leave the cloud. Okay, they are no longer using the cloud. And when you say you're no longer using the cloud and you're a big company providing big services, it means that you have to build your own. Crazy. So, but they have their own reasons. I wouldn't do that as a man that is just starting business. Okay, so they have their own reason, crazy reasons. I think I like the public cloud because it's cheaper. But this company decided, oh, we know they use them again. Okay. I think it's you because my internet is good. I use Starlink. Yeah. So if someone is having audio problem, it's not from me. Okay. So a company decided they're no longer using Azure AWS. So it means that you have to go and build your own. And what does that mean? You bring money from your pocket. You buy a piece of land. Okay. You're gonna build a structure that looks like a factory or a church. Now, instead of putting machineries inside it or putting chairs, if it's a church, it's gonna be shelves. Okay, shelves, and you're going to buy computers everywhere. Okay, and when you do that, you're gonna put internet 24 hours. You're gonna put you're gonna put AC 24 hours. Now, I went into a private data center in Lagos, one of the companies that I consult for. I couldn't stay inside for more than 5 minutes. I couldn't stay inside for more than 5 minutes. It was so cold. So yes, it was so cold. So now I asked the guy, just because the next day I was actually going to have a class like this. I asked the guy, so just for record purposes for my students, why do you have this AC on 24 hours and it's as cold as this? He said that the computers they work 24 hours, and if they turn the AC off, if a chip gets burnt in any of the computer, they will have to replace it from overseas. And even a chip that is like 7 times smaller than your finger, one single chip can cost up to 3 million naira. And yeah, you've not even factored. So yeah, so one single chip can be so expensive, and they don't want to take chances. So the whole place has to be 24 hours cool. Now, I don't know if any one of you has played games using their computer. If you've played GTA or you've played Counter-Strike. While growing up, I played a lot of GTA, man. But my siblings, they still remember those moments. We played GTA. So yeah, so if you've ever played game on your computer, you know what happens to your computer. Or your computer go hot like fire. Okay, so your computer, yes. Yes, thank you. Mohammed has played COD. Okay, so your computer will be very hot. Okay, so just imagine that's your computer because you played game. So just imagine if the thing is yes, San Andreas. Yes, Hassan, thank you. So just imagine a data center computer working 24 hours and you don't put fan. Oh, you're playing with fire. Okay, so yeah, so so they need AC 24 hours, they need internet 24 hours, and they need electricity. Now, electricity, let me tell you, there's a reason I'm telling you all this. Okay, so from the little story, you understand that if you do it privately by yourself, you're going to be spending money. Okay, but if you want to use so let me finish the story. Okay, so for electricity, now I know about the electricity cost of Next Cash and Carry. Next Cash and Carry is like ShopRite, owned by Peter Obi, although they burnt it at the time, but I think they've started building it again. Now, at a point, Next Cash and Carry, because I got to know someone that works inside, they told me that as I didn't know, their electricity bill alone, like 100 million naira per month. So how much more a data center, if a shopping mall can get electricity bill of 100 million naira per month, how much do you think a data center will cost? It will be hundreds of millions. So that's to tell you that owning your own, say you want to build your own, it's going to be too expensive. Okay, so people will prefer to use the ones that someone has built, take what they need to use. Just like I went to Port Harcourt, I didn't say, oh, because boss has said. Now I had money, of course I could have been able to enter the market to go and buy a computer. No, I just went to the cafe, I created a computer online and I used. Okay, so yeah, so the truth about it is using the public cloud, okay, is cheaper. The private cloud means you are bringing money from your pocket. And let me finalize the story of this public and private for you. Okay, so if you're using public, most people that use private, okay, they're using it because they don't have a choice. Okay, they are being forced to. Okay, they are being forced to. An example of this would be your banks. Do you know that? Do you know? Okay, so do you know that the banks are being forced by CBN? One of the conditions to own, to run your bank is that you must have your own private data center. So if you're going to use a private cloud, it's because you are complying with regulatory and compliance requirement, just like Access Bank. Okay, so if Central Bank knows that they don't have their own data center, boom, they might retrieve their license. Okay, they might retrieve their license. I thank you, Akinwale, for putting that in the chat window. Now, one of the reasons is this. Okay, so now Central Bank does not want Access Bank or Zenith Bank to go and store data of Nigerians in the US. Okay, so they don't want now that person that your child is speaking in the background, please mute your mic. We are in a meeting, and thank you. Okay, so CBN does not want any of the banks to go and store the data of Nigerians in another country. Okay, so that's why they gave them a condition. Please, you must have a private data center. Okay, so now remember that I've told you about public. Okay, I've told you about private. Okay, now there is another type called hybrid. Okay, so now even though they forced Access Bank and all the other banks to go and have their own data center because they don't want to store. You don't know about this, but I know about this. Okay, so they have been forced, and if they don't do, they can seize their license from them. It's one of the requirements to keep your license. So that kind of requirement is called regulatory and compliance requirement. So the only reason why people would actually have a private cloud is because of compliance requirement. Thank you, Idris. And let me tell you, and let me tell you, now, even though they forced you, okay, even though they are forced you to go and have your own, okay, even though they are forced you to go and have your own, you can't just keep using it like that, because so there are some operations that are still cheaper to use in the cloud. So so if I have the flexibility to use my private, and I still have the flexibility to use public, that kind of scenario is called hybrid. Okay, so most people use hybrid. Like the banks that have been forced to have their own private cloud, they use hybrid, because if you go and run even though you have the public, you go and run some certain operation in your own, you will need to buy special equipment for that, and you do not need to run everything in your private, because sometimes it's cheaper to run in public. So when you have that flexibility to run public, private, you are a hybrid cloud. Okay, now I know that, I think, let me see, some people wrote some questions. Okay, I thought I saw something about benefits. Is there an advantage of using private? Oh yeah, if you're using private, means that you're using private means that everyone in your company yeah, they have access to it. Okay, so they have access. Everything is private. You have total control over your data. Okay, you have total control over your data and the things that you share. Okay, 100% control. That's the most important benefit of private. 100% control. But I prefer public, not just me. When you get into this properly, you understand that public is the way to go because it's cheaper. It's pay as you go. Okay, pay as you go. You know what pay as you go is like?
Yeah.
This place I'm holding this meeting from. Although NEPA has not given us light for 3 days, I'm using solar. But the electricity is like, yeah, pay as you go. Okay, so you pay for what you use. Okay, so if you load recharge card of NEPA card of 100,000 naira, it will be there when you finish it. Boom, no light anymore. If you don't have solar, boom, you wait till you have another 100,000 naira. Okay, but yeah. So that's how the cloud is. It's what you load is what you use. Okay. So the cloud is what you use is what you pay. Okay. So it's much more flexible. No one will tell you, oh, go and buy this, go and buy. No, the cloud is the public cloud is friendly. Okay. It's pay as you go. It's cheaper. It's cheaper actually. And guess what? Whether your left hand cuts, your right hand now you they use. Nobody cares. Whether you are white, you are black, you are green, nobody cares. Okay. So the cloud company don't discriminate. They accept everybody to use. All they just want you to do is to create your account and use. Okay. So so we've looked at the cloud models. Okay, we've looked at the cloud models, public, hybrid, and private. Okay. So another part, private cloud is not accessible globally because it is owned by that company. Okay, the company wants to keep things private for only their use. Okay, so I was trying to look for that company that decided, oh, this year we're not using public cloud. I was trying to look for them earlier on. I couldn't see the link again, but it's a very popular company. They decided they were not using the cloud anymore. But if, like, I just gave you an estimation of someone saying we're not using the cloud anymore. Okay, that means they're going to pay a lot. Okay, you're going to buy land first. Okay, you know how expensive land is. If you've been following VDM lately, I think about 1 month ago, he posted about a man that wanted to buy land in Abuja. I think the man paid, I think it was asked to pay, whether the man had paid 600 million naira. Okay, and he still did not get it. Okay, so yeah, lands are expensive. That's just the point I'm trying to make. So you're going to buy land. Okay, so you're going to build a structure. Okay, you're going to buy equipment. You're going to hire people. Yeah, so having your own private cloud is crazy. It's expensive, and guess what? Okay, the computers that you have inside it, you cannot use them forever. They deteriorate over time. Okay, they have a lifespan. They deteriorate over time. They have a lifespan. Probably. Now let me give you an example from the place I schooled. Okay, so my university. Yeah, so you just be in school and now all of a sudden you see that, but all the computers in the library, they've packed them aside. You like, what is happening here? You say, what is happening here? Okay, so LinkedIn moved to a private cloud because they can afford it. Okay, but as someone that is just starting a business, hold on. Remember, I told you that those that are moving to private cloud, I gave you a reason earlier on. If you remember why I said those that are using private cloud, there must be reason, and I gave the reason here. If you remember, drop it in the chat window. The reason, so LinkedIn has their reason for moving. So if you remember the reason why I said that people using private, they have their own reason. If you remember the reason, please drop it in the chat. Why did CBN ask Access Bank to move to private cloud? Okay, good. Regulatory and compliance requirements. Okay, yeah, and total control. When you're working with data, LinkedIn works with data. Okay, data of people. So they want to have control over those data. they do not want data of their users to leak outside. Probably that's why they use a private cloud. Anyone that wants to use a private cloud is because of compliance and regulatory compliance. That's the most important thing. Like all banks have their own because they don't want this thing to leak. Okay, so if LinkedIn moved to private, is because they don't want their data of their customers to leak. Okay, so I think there was a time that Facebook had a very big court case in Europe. Guess what? In Europe, okay, a big court case in Europe, and they had to settle. They had to pay. Okay, so regardless of where you are, regulatory and compliance when you deal with data of people is important. Okay, so China is a very good example of this. If you go and start, if you're a Chinese citizen, you go and start saying cho cho cho, before you know, they don't move you, they don't put you inside. Oh yeah, did you hear what happened at the point to the ones he was once richest man in China? So he felt that he had arrived and he was talking, granting interviews and talking carelessly. Guess what? They dealt with him. He disappeared for I think about 8 months. When he came back, his companies were all going down. He's no longer the richest man there. So China takes compliance and keeping quiet very seriously. So anyone that owns a private data center is doing that for that purpose. Okay, so that's probably why LinkedIn did that as well. Yes, guys. We've talked about the models. You understand the models and why. Okay, so let's take a look at the services. Okay, so now when you finish your training, and if God does it for you, when you eventually start working, you're going to be working in one of these services. So the first one that we have is infrastructure as a service. Okay. Okay, so you're lucky that I'm not the one that is going to be checking the requirement. If I was, if you turn on your mic and disturb me, boom, you have minus 50 points. Okay, so please make sure that you don't use your mic to distract the class. Okay, so we have 3 important services in the cloud. Okay, so later on, so you're going to come across this all your life. Okay, and you're going to be working in one of these when you eventually start working. The first one is infrastructure as a service. Okay, so when you say infrastructure as a service, okay, that means you're renting things from the cloud provider. Okay, just like my story I told you in the Port Harcourt story. I went to the cyber cafe. Okay, I created a computer that matches the RAM of the one I have at home. Okay, and I started doing all the things that I need to do. Okay, on it. Okay, so I'm renting a compute device from the cloud provider. Okay, so you're renting compute, network, and storage. You're renting computer from the cloud provider to do what you do. So you're renting infrastructure. Okay, so when you're renting infrastructure from the cloud provider, you have more control. Okay, because let's take, for example, now, if I was to, that computer that I created in the cloud, now a computer in the cloud in Microsoft Cloud is called a virtual machine. Okay, in AWS Cloud is called EC2 instance. Okay, same thing. Okay, so when you're renting these things from the cloud provider, you have control of. Yeah, I'm not sharing screen. We're talking chilled out because we're using examples. So relax. But I think I have an amazing slide though, but let me look for it. Yeah, I have a slide. Oops, I've moved my slide to. Yeah, let me look for that slide so that maybe you guys can have more. So everything that I've been saying, it's actually in a slide. Okay, slide is gonna open soon if you want to see my slide. Okay, so let me continue speaking until I sort that issue out. Okay, hold on. Okay. The thing I want to open making another vex, but okay. So it's opening. Don't worry. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So when I teach about introduction to cloud, this is the slide that I always use. So maybe for the rest of this training, we're going to look at it. So for those of us that need slide, I'm going to share. Yeah, Abdullahi, your hand is raised up. Okay, while I'm trying to open my slide, please go ahead and ask your question. Maybe others will learn from it. Okay, so the discussion today is centered around cloud concepts. Okay, so I already told you about the different cloud models that we have. We have public, private, and hybrid. I already explained what a public cloud is to you. I already explained what the is, and also already explained what a private is. We are done with that. Okay, so we were actually looking at the cloud services, but before we do that, let's talk about, I already explained this. What is cloud computing? Is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Okay. I told you about my Port Harcourt story. So, yep, it made it easy for me. I rented the computer from the cloud provider. I did everything, boom, sent them password, and they were able to do what they were doing. Okay. This one, I told you that public cloud is owned by another person. Okay. So Amazon owns, I showed you what a data center is. Amazon owns data centers. You want to use their computer, you have to get it from them. Okay. So private means that it's owned by one person. Okay. And I told you that, I thought it's crazy because you have to pay bills, you have to build factories. Okay, so organization is responsible for the security of their data center. They do not allow outsiders to use. Only people in the companies or in the company, only staff will be able to use. Okay, so it's self-service. It's crazy. I don't like it because to me, it's expensive. Okay, you run AC 24 hours, run electricity 24 hours. Now, my internet, I pay 57,000 per month. But guess what? The people that are running cloud, their own charges, not be 57,000 naira, maybe for internet charges alone. Starlink could charge. Yeah, so you probably you're going to spend a lot when you're using you're going to spend a lot when you're using the cloud for your internet. Okay, when you're using private cloud, because you need internet 24 hours. Okay, now why 24 hours? You know that different places have different time zone. Like as I'm speaking now, people in some part of US it's night in the US. They are dozing away. Okay, so when they wake up, they want to check the data center. So there are different time zones all over the world. Different places have different time zones. So that's why your data center needs to run 24 hours, because when these people are sleeping, another people are using 24 hours. And when you're doing that, boom, you're spending money. Okay, so so we see the different if it's different models. Okay, so the most flexible will be hybrid. Okay, so the best among all of them is hybrid, because no one is forcing you. If someone who is not telling you, this company, I beg, do this. If someone who is not putting pressure on your neck. So someone who they look anymore. I beg. CBN, you're no longer looking. Okay, that means I can go and use public cloud and save some money. Okay, so hybrid is actually hybrid is the best, most flexible. Now let's spend some time on it. What are the benefits of using the cloud? Number one is high availability. When they say high availability, let me give you an example of high availability. Now, I did not tell Amaju that, Amaju, NEPA have not brought light for 3 days. Amaju, I'm so sorry, I will not be able to have this meeting. I didn't tell her that. You know why? Because I'm highly available. NEPA, no lights, no wahala, I'm on a carry no wahala go. I have solar. Okay, solar don't spoil. There's a generator. Okay, so you can see that whatever it is that happened, now this meeting, I will have found every way to make myself available, because I'm very, very highly available. That's how it is in the cloud. When you're going to the cloud, okay, so let me give you want to check your bank app. Okay, you want to transfer money, and you say, okay, you're using GTB, and you go and open your GTB, and all of a sudden, boom, GTB is not available because NEPA have taken line. What are you going to do? You're going to be highly disappointed. You're going to be angry. Okay, so now the only way GTB will make sure they are online every day is to be in the cloud. Okay, if they're not going to be in the cloud, it means they're going to spend money. It means that they're going to spend through their nose. GTB does not want to do that. So they are smart. So most companies are smart. They know that they want to be online 24 hours. They will use the cloud because the cloud does not go off because of the way it is built. Okay, things are highly available. Fault tolerant. Fault tolerant means they catch fire. Although my data center coincidentally caught fire last night. The company I work with. So we actually have a private data center for some compliance reasons, though. So some fire incident happened there, and a lot of stuff got. But we are finding a way to do it. But the typical scenario, okay, like the applications you are hosting in the cloud, okay. So there's the concept of pod and Kubernetes and containers. Because of that, if anything happened to your application, I think that if anything happened to your application, the application is faulty, okay, automatically another instance of the application will come and replace that one. So that's why they say it's fault tolerant, okay. So that's why the operators of the data center must make sure the place is running 24 hours without any issue, because they've already made the application you're hosting there to be fault tolerant. Okay, so latency capability. What can be latency? Okay, so now we all here we use OPE. We all are using OPE. We all know OPE. Now let someone tell me high availability. Oh, I'm reading the comments in the chat. Okay, so high availability. So African countries are not in the high availability for any reasons. Okay. Oh, okay. So it for that person that wrote that there. We are having our own issues. I think it's the government. Okay, so sorry if you are a diehard fan of Tinubu. He travels a lot. Whatever you see in Dubai was built in a few years. Okay, you didn't take them 100 years to build that. So I think that if I was Tinubu and God gives me the power to, even though I will steal money, I will make sure that I make my country look as beautiful. I will build. So the availability issues that we're having is because of the government is selfish and greedy. Okay, so meaning banks do not turn off. Meaning banks do not off theirs. The banks are smart. Okay, so Akinola, let me ask you a question. Have you ever at any point, okay, gone to use Access Bank? Okay, whether it's night, morning, no, it has not gone off. It doesn't go off. Okay, now you're just using your phone and you're going to play with those things on your phone, but a lot of things are happening in the background. Okay, for your phone not to go off, that means they've kept that the app. Okay, the app that is serving you that service in your phone, they've placed it in a place, okay, that is highly available. They've kept that app somewhere so that to ensure that you do not go off. Okay, so they're probably using the cloud. Okay, let's leave the issue of high availability because we still have so many things to talk about. Let's talk about something else. Okay, so now the one that I want us to take a look at is latency. Thank you for Timothy Ododo. Now, see, the reason why I started using OPE. Okay, so I used to use Fidelity a lot. I liked Access. I like GTB. Whether you like it or not, I think I have about 6 to 7 bank apps in my phone. But the one that is the fastest is the one that I always use. And guess what? The fastest one so far is OPE. Okay, you send money, boom, boom, the person don't receive them. Okay, so not that, yeah. So not that you would want to. The concept of load balancer is something else that we'll talk about. Another concept. Okay, but if you survive the so it's time taking. Let me shorten the whole thing. Okay, so OPE has good latency. Okay, very good latency, very short time. So what they did, they looked at where customers are and they placed devices there to make your timing, your time you send and receive very fast. So they did a lot of calibration and a lot of optimization. They spent money. Okay, they spent, they use cloud. They use cloud. Okay, so they spent money to make that possible for you. So your OPE going fast is not out of the blues. they've spent money to make that possible. Okay, so that's high availability. I think you're still looking at my slide. Okay, so I'm not gonna do everything. I'm gonna pick a few and we'll wrap it up from here. Another one is global reach.
The slide
okay?
is off. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So another one is global reach. Now, global reach, I'm going to share my screen so that you see what I mean by global reach. And when I'm talking about global reach, I'm going to use CUDA as the example. Don't worry, I'm going to open CUDA website so that we'll all look at it together. Okay. Now, guess what? CUDA started before OPE. Okay. CUDA started before OPE, but because OPE is smarter and they decided to use high availability. So CUDA was smarter. OPE was smarter. Okay, but trust me, CUDA started this thing first. Now, why do I use CUDA as a case study? Why do I always talk about CUDA? Because if you take a look at this drop-down button, okay, now remember the reason we're talking about this point is global reach. If you take a look at this button, take a look at the button. Okay, very interesting. If you are in the UK, it works beautifully well in the UK. It works beautifully well in Canada. Okay, so you can see Ghana, and Uganda. So how is this possible? Okay, so now if you put your business in the cloud, okay, you can reach any customers that you want to reach. Now, later on, as we go on in the course, maybe when you're doing your DevOps, I don't know if Cosmos DB is part of the thing, but if we use Cosmos DB is, they call it the global unit of high availability. Okay, so CUDA is able to do this basically because they use the cloud. Okay, that's just what I'm trying to tell you. And you can see that whether you are in Canada, whether you are in the UK, whether you are in Nigeria, and guess what is so crazy about this? Access Bank has to open office in every city. Okay, so if you go to Akure, there's an Access Bank. Now, what did Access Bank do? They needed to build a building there first. You come to Abuja, they need to build buildings before Access Bank exists. Now, guess what I like about this bank? Okay, this bank only has what they call a fulfillment center. Okay, and it's in Yaba, Lagos. And guess what a fulfillment center does? Fulfillment center is where the card is coming from. That means without spending as much as Access Bank, First Bank, Zenith Bank, they are still doing what the banks are doing. This is amazing. Okay, it's amazing. What the cloud can do. Okay, the cloud can do. So cloud can do a lot of amazing things. Now, guys, someone's hand is raised up. I'm going to take your question. Rakia, please quickly ask your question. Rakia, your hand is raised up. Quickly ask your question. I'm going to move to the next slide. Rakia, ask your question. Okay, don't worry. I think I should be done very soon. Rakia is not speaking. So please, if you don't have any question, don't confuse me. If you don't have any question, don't raise up your hand because you get me confused. Okay. Let me continue. So if Uma, your hand is also raised up. If you know it's a question that you have, please go ahead and ask your question. Okay. Sorry.
Hello.
Okay, can you type whatever you're asking in the chat window because I don't understand what you're asking of me. Okay, guys. One more from here before I move forward. Agility. What is agility? Okay, so I have a beautiful app that I created. I call it Show. Okay, so how did I get the idea? And I didn't waste time, and I was able to I want to start building. Okay, so latency is affecting our network. Yes, thank you, Jato. Please, you should attend to QS after your class. Okay, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at my slide. I have one more point here that I'm going to leave the rest for you to go and study agility. What is agility? the speed at which you can pick up an idea, work on it, and boom, be on the fly because of the things that are in the cloud. Okay, if maybe you were waking up at okay, so I have one app that I want to show you that I built. Okay, so let me show you that app. I was in my younger brother's place, and he has a son 9 years old, and we were like debating, and he was like, Uncle, I want you to build an app. Okay, I want you to build an app. This idea came from my brother's little son. Okay, so this is an app that I built, and the whole idea of it came from my brother's little son. Yeah. So okay, so I am going to turn off my camera. I don't want you to see me. Okay, good. So I've turned off the camera. But if it's better when the camera is on. So I have the first part is for recording. Okay, so if the camera was on, it would have been much more interesting. But I turned it off. Okay, so I have this app. Okay, so it's for recording. Okay, this part is for snapshots. Okay, this part is for streaming. Okay, so the speed at which I got the idea, and because of what I know about DevOps and cloud and everything, boom, I like, okay, this little boy has just given me a boom. Before you know it, I got the structure, and that was how I was developing it till it is today. Okay, so it's not up for use yet because I'm still building it. Forget the fact that you see it has a domain name. It's not up for use, but I'm just trying to tell you that with the cloud you can easily pick up an idea and run with it. And when you're tired with it, you can just like push it aside. Okay. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. Okay, so at a particular point, I told you that the cloud is pay as you go. Okay, pay as you go, pay for what you use. When you're using the cloud, you're basically paying for what you are using. Okay, so they have this model that is called capex. Okay, capital expenditure. Now, if you decide, oh, I'm not using cloud again, I'm going to build my own private data center, I'll look at you like, okay, you go spend money. Okay, so if you are building your own, you are using the model called capex, and you are spending. Okay, so for people like us that like the pay as you use model, that is OPEX. Okay. Now the cloud is based on consumption, like your electricity bill. You pay for what you use. Now, quickly before we proceed in this meeting, I want the chat window to be very busy. Tell me one or two things in your house, in the place you're taking this meeting from, that is pay as you go or pay as you use. What is one thing you remember that is pay as you use in your house or pay as you go? Quickly, let's keep the chat window busy. Good, your electricity bill is pay as you use. What else? Good, airtime, good. I need more. Prepaid meter, yes, more. Your data, your gas. Because if you're in the UK, yes, you're paying for public gas, your water. Okay, thank you all. So you all understand the concept of pay as you use. That is how the cloud is. Okay, your Go TV, your DSTV, yeah, exactly, yeah, your DSTV. I think even your Netflix is pay as you use as well. Guys, thank you all for writing. You all know what consumption-based model is. You pay for what you use. Okay, so let's move. Yeah, I think this is the final. Yeah, so we have infrastructure as a service, the type of service that you use in the cloud. So the first one is infrastructure as a service. You're basically renting things from the cloud provider. Okay, so you're renting compute, you're renting networking, you're renting storage. Okay, so if you're using, yeah, so you're basically renting things from cloud provider. Yeah, so the first one is infrastructure as a service. I think I should tell you a story. It will make you not to memorize and make it more interesting. Okay, so infrastructure as a service. This is a real life story, but the name is different. Okay, I'm not using the person's real name. Okay, so there's this guy called Jude, and Jude decided he was not doing medicine, he was not doing engineering, he was not good at anything. But his parents noticed that if the guy cooks Indomie in the house, everybody will say, "Oh, Jude, please, we want to eat out of your Indomie." If the boy cooks jollof rice, everybody, including the parents, will want to taste out of this jollof rice. So they decided, oh, since Jude He's not good at anything. Only food is a bit cook. Let's send him to the best cooking school in Lagos. Okay, they actually did that, and okay, they first of all push him to just have an OND. He went there, Yabatech. He got an OND. Then the next thing is okay, go to cooking school. I've forgotten the name, but they paid for the cooking school. Says they are the best in Lagos, and I think they are the best actually. So Jude finished his culinary school journey. Okay, so the mother said, "Okay, Jude, you have made us proud. You went to learn how to cook to make. Now you'll be cooking more for us. We're happy because people will get to taste your food as well." Okay, so the mother decided, let's throw a party. Okay, let's invite people. So since you didn't go to normal university, let's celebrate this one. Okay, so they decided to host a party for Jude. Now, the first scenario, so there are three different scenarios with this party for Jude. Now, the first scenario, Jude's mother said, "Oh, Jude, my son, you have made us proud. You're going to be like Hilda Bassi. Oh, Jude, my son, my good son." Okay, so Jude, see the kitchen, you are in charge of the kitchen. Anything when you want cook, see, I don't open door for you. See, you are in charge. Whether not gas or plate they there, pot they there, fridge they there, even the menu, you are in charge of everything. Go and take a look, learn what you want to do and cook. Okay, so in that particular scenario, Jude is in charge of the meals. Okay, because he opens, they've given him access to the entire kitchen. Whatever is in the fridge, whatever ingredients it's there, the store is there. Whatever's in the store, he can just do. Or if the plates are dirty, he's in charge of he will wash the plate, wash the pot. But if gas finish, so he's in total control of the kitchen. Okay, so that's the first scenario. So let's put this to cloud. Okay, so you are renting the thing from the cloud provider. You are in charge of the computer. So let's say you are renting, just like my Port Harcourt story. I decided, oh, I don't want to use Windows. I want to use Linux. Okay, I can change the operating system as I'm creating that computer from Windows to Linux. Okay, I'm in total control of that computer. Oh, this disk size, this disk is too big. I don't want to use this disk. Okay, I don't want to spend too much money. You can create a smaller disk size. So you are in total control of the computer, what things and what. So that was how Jude, they gave him total control of the kitchen. Okay, Jude, you are in total control. Do whatever you need to do to make sure food is ready so we can host your party. Okay, so that is the infrastructure as a service. Okay, next scenario is platform as a service. Now, platform as a service, Jude's mother said, "Oh, Jude, my son, you have made us proud. You're going to be better than Hidabasi." Okay, so Jude, see what will happen. We don't wash the plate for you. We don't. Everything that you need to make sure this your cooking succeeds, we have done it for you. We have cleared the kitchen. There's ingredients in the fridge. You don't need to go and buy gas. We've bought the gas. All you need to do is to do what you do best. Okay, what you need to do is what you know how to do is cook, right? Okay, so you're gonna focus on cooking. Okay, cook for us. We will eat. Okay, so you see the difference in the first scenario, Jude. They just gave him control over everything. Okay, there were no specificity. Okay, if that control, gas finished, Jude has to go and buy gas. If plate dirty, so he's in total control of everything and everything. But in this particular case, they say, Jude, everything what you need, we don't put them there. And now cook, you sabi cook, and go and cook. And just cook, do what you do best. Now, if you relate this to cloud, the cloud provider has provided the machines and everything. They call you, please, you don't need to deploy anything, or you don't need to own anything. We go on everything for you. And we know so that your application, your Access Bank application, carry you come here. And just go carry your code, go do what you do. Do what you do best. Okay, so I hope that you understand. In platform as a service, you're not deploying any infrastructure. The cloud provider has deployed everything for you. You just bring yourself and your code and do what you do best. So if not Jude, they've done everything. Say, Jude, come and cook. Just cook and let us eat. Okay, so they wash plates, they buy gas, they do anything. We don't cut the meat, we don't grind the pepper. Cook. Okay, so I hope that you understand the differences. I'm going to move to the next one, software as a service. Who remembers the first time they used Bolt here in this meeting? The first time you used Bolt, you just downloaded, you added your phone number, you added your name, boom, you started using. Okay, so That's how this is. This is software as a service. Now for Jude, now Jude just came from outside. He went into the living room. The mother called, "Oh, Jude, my son, you're so wonderful. Today's party is going to be wonderful. But Jude, don't worry. We don't cook all the food. Just open kitchen, carry one plate, make you the chop." Okay, so everything has been done for Jude. It just needs to open the door. Okay, just open the door, carry food, and start eating. Just the same way you need to download both, put your phone number, put your name, and start using. So I hope you understand the differences. Okay, so yeah, so out of all of them, yeah, infrastructure as service is the most flexible because you can configure it the way you want, change your operating system, and yeah. So platform as a service is made for developers because every infrastructure has been done for you. You just need to bring your application and use. Software as a service, it already has a ready application for you to use. Now, shared responsibility model, I think, is the final thing that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, if you're using a private cloud, you are responsible for everything that you're doing. 100% responsibility is on you. Nobody's saying you. Now, you say you want to do private cloud, that means the wala day your neck. Now, if you take a flip, so we look at private. If you take a flip and go back to software as a service, now remember I told you that the whole thing has been done. Okay, the whole application has been developed. You're only accessing and using. Okay, so you only the access is you're creating an account and the data is you're putting your name. Everything has been done. Okay, so when we look at a platform as a service, now platform as a service, now remember that you will sign in, you register and sign in, then you bring your code. Every other thing has been done for you. When you look at infrastructure as a service, everything that you can see with your eye, okay, everything that you can see with your eye, the storage, network, and compute you cannot see because they're in the cloud provider's place. So now if you look at the blue one, are things that you cannot see, that with the cloud provider, okay, things that you cannot see. You cannot see the storage because it's there for the data center. You cannot see the networking. The wires are in the data center. The compute, the real physical computer is in data. So the things that you cannot see are in blue. They are managed by the cloud provider. Things that you have control over, things that you can create, you are in green. Okay, so I hope that you are cool. I hope that you understand. Okay, so another last thing that you meet here is serverless computing. What is serverless computing? Serverless meaning that, just like I told you, that with serverless, you're not, your code that is triggered. I think we can skip this. This is not in AZ900 in 2026, so I'm going to skip this too. Okay, so we have come to the end of the meeting. I'm going to ask a few questions before I round it up. Which of the models is tailored towards customers? Which of the models is tailored towards customers since the product are ready to use? Okay, I need an answer. Which of the models I gave you? Sorry, not models, services. Okay, there's a little bit of error here. Which of the cloud services is tailored towards customers since the products are ready to use? I need response in the chat window. Which of the cloud services have ready-made product? Remember, we talked about infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. Okay, good. I like the responses. You guys are responding well. Okay, so number 2, which model lets you as a user have more control? Okay, so question number 2, which one lets users is actually services, not models. So sorry for the issue, for the mistake. Okay, so which of the services let you as a user have more control? Okay, good. You guys have been listening. Infrastructure as a service. The final one, which of them is tailored specifically for developers? Which one is specifically for developers? Yes, for developers. Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you have a basic understanding of cloud computing and cloud services. Okay, thank you very much. That is the end for me. If you have any question, I would like you to ask before I check myself out.
So guys, we're going to do this in order of hands raised. So if you have a question, we'll try as much as possible to take. We'll take as much as possible, right? So just raise your hand. We'll go by the number on our teams. Okay, so Berenice, please go. Did not respond, we'll move on to the next person. You're muted, Berenice, if you're speaking. Okay, we're moving on to Obasan. Please ask your question.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my first question is on having access to Azure platform